Chapter 1. The Baby in His Arms. Dust blew in from the plains, curling along the wooden boardwalks of Dry Creek, a frontier town scraped together by grit and prayers. The sun beat down hard, baking the earth and drawing lines in the skin of every man, woman, and beast who called it home. Bo Callahan, a rugged rancher with a scar running down his left cheek and grief settled deep in his eyes, rode into town holding something no man expected to see in his calloused hands. A baby. Wrapped in a threadbare blanket, the child mewled weakly. Bo dismounted outside Mildred's mercantile, boots hitting the ground with finality. "Milk," he muttered to the shopkeeper inside. "I need milk, please." Mildred, a rotund widow in her 60s, blinked behind her spectacles. "Bo Callahan, is that a baby you've got there?" Bo nodded, jaw tight. "Found him in the wreckage near Old Pine Ridge. His ma didn't make it. Looks like the coach was ambushed. I ain't got no clue what to do with him, but he's starving." "Well, cow's milk won't sit well with a newborn," she said gravely. "You need a wet nurse or—" Her voice trailed off as the door opened and a woman stepped in. Dust clung to her long black skirts. Her hair was a tangled mass, and her face held the sharp bones of someone who'd survived too much. But her green eyes were alive with fire. Clara May Whitaker. Bo turned to look at her, and their eyes locked. "I can nurse the child," she said softly. Chapter 2. Her past wasn't welcome. The town whispered about Clara May. She'd arrived 2 months ago, a woman with no man and no kin. Rumors swirled. Some claimed she was an outlaw's widow. Others said she'd killed a man herself, but no one dared ask. She rented a small room above the old Cooper's shed and worked odd jobs, sewing, cleaning, once even tending the dying. Now, she sat in the corner of Mildred's store with the baby in her arms. He nursed quietly, soothed by the warmth of her skin and the soft humming from her lips. Bo watched her, the hard edges of him slowly cracking. "Thank you," he said hoarsely. "You saved his life." Clara didn't look up. "He's hungry. He shouldn't have to suffer for the world's cruelty." Bo's hat twisted in his hands. "You got a child?" "I had one," she said, voice low. "He didn't make it past 3 months." A long silence hung between them, filled with the sounds of the frontier. Wind, spurs jangling in the street, a distant dog barking. Bo cleared his throat. "Don't suppose you'd help me care for him? Just till I find someone more proper?" Clara finally looked up, a flicker of pain and hope warring in her eyes. "You really think there's anyone proper left in this town?" Chapter 3. A home of dust and hope. Bo lived 5 miles outside town in a weathered cabin surrounded by miles of dry grass and barbed fences. He'd built it with his brother 6 years ago before a snake-bit horse left his brother buried under a cottonwood tree. Since then, Bo had only had the land, his cattle, and silence. Clara arrived the next morning, baby in her arms, a small bundle over her shoulder. "I brought a few things," she said. Bo only nodded. "You can have the room at the end of the hall. It's clean, I think." Life settled into something strange but steady. Bo worked the land while Clara tended the child, whom they began to call Tommy. She nursed him, bathed him in a basin by the hearth, and sang songs Bo had long forgotten. The boy thrived in her arms, and every laugh he made seemed to stitch something broken back together. Sometimes Clara would watch Bo through the window, how he moved with quiet strength, how he talked to his horses like old friends, how his eyes always held sorrow like storm clouds that never broke. One evening after supper, Clara asked, "What happened to the boy's mother?" Bo stared into the fire. "Stagecoach was hit by the Nolan gang. Found her barely breathing. She handed me the baby and begged me to keep him safe. Died before I could get her water. Clara's jaw clenched. The Nolans killed my husband. Bo looked up, shocked. It owed them money from a poker game in Abilene, she continued. They came to collect with fire and bullets. I ran. Lost my baby boy in the woods. Bo didn't speak, but something shifted in his gaze. Not pity. Recognition. I ain't looking for charity, Bo, Clara whispered. But if this little boy needs me, I need him too. Chapter 4. Dangers on the Wind. Dry Creek was never far from trouble. One evening, Sheriff Tully rode out to Bo's ranch, hat in hand, face grim. Nolan gang's back. They were seen near Thorn Hollow, only 20 miles out. They're looking for someone. Word is, it's the woman you're housing. Bo stepped between Clara and the lawman. She ain't going anywhere. Tully nodded. Just figured you should know. That night, Bo loaded his rifle and slept by the door. Clara tucked Tommy into a cradle Bo had carved from oak, her hands trembling. I can't bring danger to you, she whispered. You didn't, Bo replied. Danger's already out here. Has been since the first fence was built. She sat beside him near the fire. He looked over, his voice low. I was half dead when I found that baby, Clara. You didn't just save him, you saved me too. Tears filled her eyes, but she didn't let them fall. Then don't let me go. Chapter 5. Fire and Redemption. It came fast. Just after dusk, gunshots split the silence. Bo was already on the porch, rifle steady. Clara grabbed the baby and ran to the back room. 3 riders circled the house, lanterns swinging. The Nolan gang. Callahan, one barked. We know you got the woman. She stole from us. Hand her over and we'll let you keep the kid. Bo answered with a shot that took one man off his horse. Clara, heart pounding, laid Tommy in the cradle and grabbed the old shotgun Bo had given her days earlier. She met Bo at the door. You stay in there, he growled. I won't let you die for me, she said. We do this together. 2 more shots rang out. One grazed Bo's shoulder, but he kept firing. Clara knelt by the window and took out another man with a single, shaking blast. The last outlaw fled into the hills, his yells fading. The ranch was quiet again, save for the crying of Tommy. Bo slumped against the wall, blood dripping down his arm. Clara ran to him. You're hurt. I'll live, he rasped. We all will. Chapter 6. A Family Born of Fire. 3 weeks later, the town buzzed with talk of what Bo Callahan and that mystery woman had done. Sheriff Tully declared them heroes. No one questioned Clara again. Bo sat on the porch, his arm in a sling, Tommy cooing on his lap. Clara joined him, her dress caught by the evening breeze. I never thought I'd find peace again, she said. Bo looked at her, his voice low and full. I never knew what peace was till I met you. Tommy gurgled, kicking his tiny feet. You think we can do this? Clara asked. Raise him? Make something real? Bo took her hand. You already have. You fed the boy when I couldn't. You gave him the love I never knew how to give. And you gave me something I thought was gone. She leaned into him, her head on his shoulder. The sun dipped low, painting the prairie gold. Behind them stood a ranch no longer hollow, filled with the sound of life, of footsteps, laughter, and the rustle of a family built not by blood, but by choice. And love.